Hi everyone. For this video recording, we will be covering the different life processes. And life processes are those processes which is necessary to maintain life in an organism. If the processes like nutrition, circulation, respiration, excretion, and others does not take place, then we won't be able to survive. And there is only one life process where there is no harm caused to the body, which is reproduction. Therefore, there is no harm if the body does not reproduce, which makes sense, right? So, for example, not all women or female organisms in general want to reproduce or can reproduce. And once this happens, there's no harm done to the organisms. So let's cover the different types of life processes. As living organisms, humans will perform several life processes that are going to be essential for life and that distinguish living organisms from non-living things. Here we have a list of them, starting with metabolism and excretion and going all the way down to reproduction. And we're going to cover them in more details in the next few slides. So starting with metabolism and excretion, all organisms, they will have to rely on these complex chemical reactions to be able to provide energy that is necessary to perform the other life processes that was listed on the previous slides, such as responsiveness, growth, reproduction, and movement. You all would agree that to be able to perform these life processes, you do need energy, right? How can you move from one place to another without energy? How can your cells grow without energy? And then the organisms must also synthesize or create, form complex chemicals such as proteins, which are the building blocks of our body. Therefore, the term metabolism refers to all of these chemical operations that occur in our body. And there are two types of metabolic reactions. On one hand, we have what we call catabolism, and on the other hand, we have a process known as anabolism. And both of these processes are opposite to each other. Therefore, we can say just by looking at this image that catabolism will be the breakdown of complex molecules into simple ones, and anabolism will do just the opposite. It will synthesize complex molecules from simple ones. Notice how for the process of anabolism to occur, you need energy. You need energy to be able to build complex structures. And the opposite occurs for catabolism. When you break down complex structures into smaller structures, your body releases energy. And this means that we can say that both of these processes balance out at the end. They create what we call homeostasis, which is the tendency towards a relatively stable equilibrium between interdependent elements, especially as maintained by these physiological processes. Now, normal metabolic operations require the absorption or the taking in of materials from the environment. This means that for our body to be able to generate energy efficiently, cells require various nutrients as well as oxygen. So the term respiration refers to cells' absorption, transport, and use of oxygen. And as a result, all of these metabolic operations will generate potentially harmful waste products that must be removed through the process of excretion. So excretion is the elimination of these harmful substances from our body. And there are several ways that excretion can occur. We are not really going to get into much detail now about this, but if you think about some of the mechanisms, you might even be able to come up with a few yourself. If you thought, for example, of sweating or urinating or defecating, these are all some of the ways that you can excrete harmful substances from your body. Your liver is also a very important organ that works really hard to detoxify your body from harmful substances as well. With regards to responsiveness, well, organisms, they will respond to changes in their immediate environment. And this property is also called irritability. So you move your hand away from a hot stove, or your dog barks at approaching strangers, or fish are scared by loud noises. These are all responsiveness. You are reacting to a certain environmental cue. Organisms also make longer lasting changes as they adjust to their environments. So, for example, as the winter approaches, an animal may grow a heavier coat or migrate to a warmer climate. So, for example, polar bears, they might grow a heavier coat, or that's why they have white furs. Or birds may migrate further down south where it's warmer, and the capacity to make such adjustments is termed adaptability. With regards to movement, organisms are going to be capable of producing movement, which may be internal when you're transporting food or blood or other materials inside of the body. And this image up here is showing how the blood cells are being transported inside of blood vessels. Here we have a cancerous cell that's moving inside of the body, or it can be external, so moving through the environment. The butterfly is flying from plant to plant. For growth over a lifetime, organisms will grow larger, increase in size through an increase in the size or the number of their cells. So a cell can increase itself, or a cell can multiply. So there are two different types of growth. So on the top image, you're having same number of cells, but the cell is increasing in size. And in the bottom image, if you play the video, you're going to see that it's a plant that's growing, and therefore it's increasing the number of cells. Here we have differentiation, which in multicellular organisms, the individual cells, they become specialized to be able to perform particular functions. So this specialization is called differentiation. There's going to be a growth and a differentiation in cells and organisms, often produce changes in form and function. So, for example, the anatomical proportions and physiological capabilities of an adult human are going to be quite different from those of an infant. So, you're going to have a stem cell that will give rise to all these different types of cells. As you notice, they're very diverse in their morphology, and each of these cells, they will have their own specific function. And for reproduction, organisms, they will reproduce and they will create subsequent generations of their own kind, whether it's a unicellular, as the image above, or a multicellular, as the image below.